What's going on, everybody? It's CryptoVision here, back again with another crypto market update. Today's video, we're going to be checking out Ethereum. So if you like today's video, hit that like button, subscribe for more, leave a comment where you're tuning in from. I really appreciate it. So we got Ethereum here on the 3-day chart. Just kind of wanted to see, a little bits of a zoomed out picture, right? I think a lot of times people get caught up zooming in a lot, zooming in on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 4-hour, the fill in the blank. I do think those are important, but also think looking at the structure of a 3-day time frame, a weekly to me is great, right? It's hard to see the overall structure for reversals and things like that happening on the weekly as they're happening real time. Typically, you can see, oh, this is where it reversed, but you're a little bit behind the 8 ball. I am checking out the 3-day just because it is closing today, so I kind of want to see it close relatively where we're at right now. Right, we had no hindsight, no going back and editing the charts. I mean, we go through and we edit charts after assessing the previous work, right? So we could go through and pick up or add, move around some resistance levels, things like that, but going to go through, analyze the work, give myself a grade, and let's get into it. So we came in through here, we rejected off this beautifully, right? This 3905, 3905. Pardon me. Absolutely to the T. Okay, so the way the channel works is, right, when you reject one level, right, you target the next. Okay, I know that it wasn't perfect where you just came down and you bounced, but there was these are 3-day candles, so you came down through here and you worked your way up, you came down, you worked your way up, and then you slammed down. So it wasn't just a 1-day thing. There was multiple interactions around this line through here, this $3,200 range, and so I give this it's probably like a C minus, C whatever. But down here, I mean, this is if you're not subscribed to the channel, this is why you're subbed to the channel, right? You can go back, videos on videos on videos, right? This is why I created the channel. These reasons are because, I feel I see that, these levels work out more often than not, right? 51% of the time, if I'm being truthful. Right, more often than not, right? It could be 51, it could be 51.01%, but this is beautiful, right? We had this 2796. I did say in the last Ethereum video I could see us wicking down a little bit lower just because to take out lows through here, right? Take out lows through here, and it did, right? It did, and so where are we at? We're at the 2796. We closed at, where did we close right here? We closed at 2801. I mean, it's $5 off, ladies and gentlemen. So I'd give this work down here through an A. But now let's move into what we got to do to get out of here, right? I'm going to leave this 3200 just on there. I'm going to leave that through there. And but this looks pretty, I mean, this is looking pretty accomplished to the downside, right? It's looking pretty accomplished to the downside. I mean, in theory, right, you got some kind of, A, B, C down through here, right? You got a 3-wave move down through here, and then you got like a retracement through here, okay? And now you have like your 3-wave move, right? I know you can see that. I know you can see that, okay? So you got 3, you got an impulse, then you got 3, okay? It looks very nice, I will say. Ethereum's correction looks almost nicer than Bitcoin's, and Bitcoin's looks very nice. A lot of people are saying, oh, you're below the 50-week EMA, yada, 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 yada. The correction looks beautiful. It looks like a correction. And let's go ahead and see where we've come down to, okay, from this low to this high, okay, from this low to this high, because we do have, oh, what did I just do? There we go. Low to high, that 618 is right at 2746. That's probably somewhere where I got that last mark. 2746 realistically, right? If we're in I'll go through the extensions in a bit. Let's go ahead and edit some of these levels, okay? To the downside, levels to the downside, I mean, really don't want to see anything below 27.96 on a closing basis. Really don't want to see anything. I mean, this is kind of where the lows kind of need to form the lows. If not, the 786 coming through here. I mean, really, this 2100, that would be, you know, I'm gonna put this on a. I'm just gonna take it off the dailies, right? And maybe the hourlies and the minutes. Take it off everything. Just take it off. I'm gonna put this down through here. I don't want to see it correct down through the 786 through, right? Worst case scenario, you come down in 5, right? Worst case scenario, you have like a 1, 2, 3. You come up through here 4, and then you get a 5th. That's worst case scenario, right? It'd kind of push everything back through December, looking for that January, February time frame. But we'll get into some reasons why I don't think that's the case. All right, we're gonna move this down through here. This 3,500 level, right? 3,500 I think is going to be a key level, and then we're going to work our way. We're going to see what else we got here. Okay, so in terms of extensions, what have we done? Okay, and we're just looking at price action. We'll get into TA. We'll get into some other stuff. Okay, we'll get into some other stuff. 4272. I mean, if you're looking for a 1-2. If you're looking for a 1-2, 1, 2, 3, I mean, that's a very large extension for a 1-2, right? That is a very large extension. Looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, let's go ahead and check it out. So we got this, we got this. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Here we go. Here we go. We got some bananas going on right here. We got some bananas going on right through here. That is kind of a large extension. I don't know how I feel about that, if I'm being completely honest, but you know, truncated 5th, expanded 3rd. I mean, you could also there's multiple scenarios, right? You could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you could have an extended 5th. You could have that. Okay, there's multiple reasons, but this definitely counts as an impulse. Okay, so you have an impulse coming off the lows, right? Coming off the lows. So this took out everything else. So there's no, right? There's no reason to believe that, you know, you're in a this was a B wave. Okay, there's no reason to believe that this was a B wave. You came off the lows, right? These lows, I mean, they took out all through here. So realistically, right? Realistically, this whole setup right here is more than likely the correction from coming down through here, right? I mean, this looks almost like an A, and then you kind of got like your B, and you kind of got like a C. Honestly, that's what it kind of looks like. Kind of got like your A, B, C, and that's a full 3-wave move. I know that's crazy to think. I know that's crazy to think. But if that is the case, that is the most bullish case. That is the most bullish case, because if that is actually truly the case for Ethereum, right? If we're thinking about that, there could be other scenarios, right? But this is a scenario that I believe Ethereum is in. I do. I believe that Ethereum is in. This is the first wave. Okay? This is your first wave, right? And so right, you're thinking that the third wave is going to start. Right? The third wave is going to start. Okay? So, I mean, you could say that, you know, you got your A, B, C through here. You have your B, and then you have a C of some type of flat pattern, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I like mine. I like my theory better. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I could be totally wrong, but for now, we're gonna rock with it. Okay, rock with your boy. So we got that, the 39.72, and I'm gonna check this out. I do like this. I kind of want to keep this at where it's at, 42.52. We're going to move this down through here to 786. We'll come back to Ethereum and check out the handiwork, right? See how close we've gotten to some predictions. Okay. We got the 1272, and let's mark it up to the 1618. Okay. 2272. I don't know about that, right? I don't know about that. We're gonna keep those like that. Okay. So there we go with that. Okay, Ethereum. We have prices to the upside. We have prices to the downside. We have targets, right? I have targets, right? These are just my ideas of 52.46. 52.46, 71.54, and 83.92. Right, 3 targets. Okay, it's CryptoVision. Why do you have 3 targets? Isn't it just going to go to 1? No, silly. It's not how assets work, right? There's not just, oh, you hit this price, you're done. I mean, you could really come up in like a 1-2, something like this, something like that, and then you correct down ABC. That was very ugly. You have like a ABC, something like that, and you come up for a third wave, right? You got to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your third wave, right? Then you come back down, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. You could do that, right? It could be a terrible fifth wave, right? You can come up for a third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come back down, ABC, something like that. You get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a double top. You could do that, right? There's so many things that you could do, but I'm expecting, regardless, another impulse. I'm expecting an impulse. Okay, so let's get into some indicators. That's just price action. I know I'm long-winded. I know it's boring, but boy, look at that! Gosh damn, that looks good. That looks good. I rest my case, right? So December 1st, quantitative tightening is ending. The Fed, there's an 80% chance that the Fed is going to cut rates. It is about liquidity heaven is about to happen, right? While people are bearish at the lows, okay? Just mind you, people are bearish at the lows. We're in extreme fears. A lot of money is entering the market, okay? This takes time. This is a trickle-down effect, right? You know, your real estate gets money first. Your big CEOs get their pockets lined first. We all know what happens, you know what I mean? But in all seriousness, right, this looks very good. You have a green dot on the 3-day, right? So a little bit more, carries a little bit more weight than the 1 day. Okay, so you got a green dot. I can leave white, that's fine. I just don't want it all over the place. And let me actually keep it to 3 days. Multiple times. Okay, so if we're using not just 1, not just 2, not just 3, but I mean, you got a green dot right here. Got a pump. Green dot down through here. This is pretty similar, right? You're down at the lower aspect of your RSI. You got a pump. This is very similar. This is almost apples to apples, right? You're coming down, you touched, okay, and then you pumped, okay. This is, you didn't get as oversold, but you rallied. And then down through here, you got a little bit more oversold, and then you really rallied. All right. So we got a little bit. We got, you got scenarios. You got examples of a little bit more oversold, and which equated to larger impulses. You got a little bit of an less oversold asset and a little bit less of impulse, but nonetheless, they all went up. You take that as you will, right? You take that as you will. I'm just providing reasons for being bullish, because I'm bullish overall on the macro. Right? You kind of look like, you've done, where are we at? You kind of look like you've done this. You've come down through here. Right? Maybe we have a lot more downside. I just don't see us having a lot more downside, right? You've already crossed. I think it's something like this, where you did most of your downside work on this cross, and on this cross you kind of just rounded, had a rounded base. So if we could get maybe another couple days, the rest of this week, you kind of round up like that and then start going, I could see us starting to reverse. We've had this week planned out for a while as a reversal week. We've had this week marked down. If you don't believe me, go back and check the videos. There are people here who know what I'm talking about, and they can confirm. Right? It's not. I'm not just blowing smoke up your butt. Okay. Let's throw this right here. All right. There's still a lot of work to do. I'm not saying there's not a lot of work to do, but what I'm saying is these are the signs you look for in a reversal. Extreme fear, good news, liquidity incoming, a recent, not a recent, but the tail end of a sell-off, right? I mean, if we're in this corrective move from here, okay, you've been correcting for 90 days, so 3 months of a correction, a 3-month correction. That's a pretty standard correction. This one was a little bit longer. This one was a little bit longer, if I'm being honest. 123 days, so about 30 more days, so an extra month. So, could you possibly run up and then come back down one more? Yes, you possibly could, right? We have this last little bit of defense. That's your last bit of defense, okay? So if I am an Ethereum holder, I am alerting 2796. Okay, if we cross 2796 and close below 2796, I'm targeting 2147. That's what I'm doing as an Ethereum holder. So that's kind of what I got for the 3-day. Let's go ahead and look at the 4. The daily too. Gotta look at a little bit of the daily, right? Can't just go full macro. Still some work to do, right? Still some work to do. Nothing. That would be nice to come up through here, get a little bit bigger push, just a little bit, and then come like that, do that. That would look really nice. That would look really nice. You come back test for support, you build a 1-2, and then you can go. That would look really nice. I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying that would look nice. You kind of got, just like XR, a lot of these assets, right? A lot of these assets, you're cupping into resistance. I just want to double check something. 35.68. You're cupping into resistance, right? You come up through here, cup. Do we come up through here and cup into resistance? And come back down like that? Do we do that? That's a possibility. Let me... I think that's a true possibility, right? I think that's a true possibility. I don't know if this is the low, and I don't know if that's high. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to play that game for Ethereum just yet. It still looks like it's building. Kind of looks like it wants to be a red day today, if I'm going to be honest. A little bit of a pullback. That would equate to most of the altcoins, finishing up hopefully a 1-2, right? Hopefully we're finishing up a 1-2. And then let's go into the 4-hour. Let's check this out. I like the momentum. I do like the momentum. I like all this bullish momentum, momentum playing out. I do like this up through here. I do. If you cool off a little bit, that's fine. This stochastic, this RSI is looking really good. I wouldn't mind if you come up through here, take this high, and then possibly cool off just a little bit, and then go. I wouldn't mind that. Right? I just don't want to see it come up. You come and you touch the overbought zone and then you reject. I don't want to see that. If you're gonna gain some kind of momentum, do that. Do we have bearish divergence? Hopefully not. Yeah, lower highs. Nope. Barely not, dude. 29.58. 29.58. Barely not. Barely. Got almost. Whoo. That was close. I mean, by a couple pennies. Not gonna lie, that's kind of wild. This is actually starting to look relatively good. It needs a little bit more of an impulse. Right? This is nice. What is this? A 3, 4. What is this? What are we doing right here? Right? What are you doing right there? Let's take a look at this real quick. What are you doing right there? I don't like it unless we come down a little bit more. I don't like it unless we come, I mean, at this point it almost looks like a like a three-wave move. That's what kind of looks like it wants to do, unless it can break above, right? Unless it can break above where we at. If we're actually thinking that that's a fifth wave, yeah, it's right there at the 382. I'm going to leave this on here, right? If we come up through here and reject 2961, that's not going to be a great look. That's going to be, it's going to look like you've come up, rejected, you rejected. Looks like you probably want to come back down, which is fine, right? Come up through there, have like a three-wave move, and then go for your fifth. Okay. Yeah, the fifth wave, I'm looking for, I want to see if anything is on here. Is anything on here for the daily? 35. Yeah, let's put something on here for the daily, right? Really looking for the 786. That's like the minimum, but this one right there, that's a nice area too. Let's add this on here through here. 3100, right? 3100 would be a very nice area to come up to, finish up your fifth wave, at least get there. That's kind of your minimum target for your fifth wave. And then you come back down and correct. All right, and then you would have a 1, 2. Then you can go. All right, something like that. So that's what I got for Ethereum. It's Wednesday. I think the markets everything's closed tomorrow. Possibly Friday we run a little bit. Kind of getting a reversal signs, right? Kind of getting reversal signs. Liquidity is coming into the markets. People are very bearish. There's a lot of shorts open. The charts say otherwise, right? You can't just rely on the charts. You gotta think big picture, right? And you gotta think market psychology. A lot of people have been, expecting the 50-week EMA, especially on Bitcoin, to be the line in the sand. You cross this, oh, you're bearish. You cross this, you're bearish. You use it as support, you're bullish. The last time through April, we used it as support. People entered there, and they made a good trade, right? Myself included, not Bitcoin, but other assets. Now we have broken it. So those same people are now screaming bear market, bear market, bear market. You're going to come up for a retrace, dead cat bounce, and then you're going to start your bear market. As QT is ending, as the Fed continues to decrease interest rates, and as liquidity enters the market, I don't see it, right? I don't see the 40% or whatever 35% sell off on Bitcoin as something that hasn't happened in the past, where you traditionally see some kind of large move to catch most people who are on the sidelines now off guard. Same thing goes for Ethereum. I think Ethereum is going to run, and those targets that I provided, those are my ideas. These, right? It's not financial advice, but these are ideas that I have for Ethereum, right? If I believe in an alt season, if I believe that assets relative and compared to Bitcoin are going to be strong, Ethereum needs to be strong, right? So that's 7, right? I'm expecting this. This is like what I'm really expecting. Minimum target, realistic target, outside possibility, but still possibility, right? So until then, until I see you again, I'll probably look at covering Ethereum next week sometime. I'm actually thinking about, starting to, because I've got so many channel requests that I'm thinking about starting a Discord, right? And, having people vote on assets to cover and things like that. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I thank you for your time. I thank you for stopping by. Have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Peace.